Okay, I can do the recording all the way from over here. Okay, so you can see Dr. Joel Fuhrman, and we're in the
Yep.
frame?
Yep.
Perfect, okay. So
in your ear, you want 5 minutes, 2 minutes, music started?
Yeah, and let me know when you leave, let me know when you're back, and also if you can just text me the countdown, the final countdown, that'll be great. Okay?
So text the countdown, but tell you the minutes in your ear.
Yeah, like 5 minutes to music, you can. Or you can just text me the whole time, 407-373-5959. Good?
Yeah, I was just asking which one you preferred.
Text.
Okay.
Either or, doesn't matter. Okay? How many minutes do we have?
1.
Okay. 1 minute. So we're Facebook Live. We're going to be recorded for YouTube. And we're going to be on the radio.
Everything at once.
Okay.
And we have an audience too.
And we do have an audience, yes.
Audience.
Please hold back the applause. There we go. Good job. Yeah.
When we raise our hands, it means make it.
Yes. We'll do like this if we want to applaud. It's a sign language. Yeah. So today's going to be a great day for the villages because they're going to hear a new truth, Dr. Fuhrman. And am I recording? Absolutely, I'm recording. They're going to hear a new truth that they probably have never heard before. I was speaking with Bruce and Ellen last night, and they were like, really? 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 And I think that, being able to learn this new truth, like I was sharing with them, there's still people that believe the earth is flat. Yeah. It's time to move to that next level.
Most of America thinks the earth is flat, nutritionally speaking.
Yeah. And it's hard.
Because they think that it's inevitable. It's just aging. They're going to have heart attacks. They're going to have strokes. They're going to get demented. They're going to get cancer. Nothing you can do about it.
So I'll give you the clues. Okay, here we go. It's time to dance, Dr. Fuhrman. This is our first piece to face. Yeah. I mean, we've seen each other before, but this is our first time.
I'll be right here, and when you need a friend,
you'll live.
I'll be right here, waiting.
I know.
My house.
Remember that time you had just come from tennis and your shirt was off.
I didn't realize you could see me.
To reach out to Lillian, visit her at whenyouneedafriend.com. Now let's all learn together.
Here we go. Hello, my listening friend. It's so nice we can meet each other on the air on this beautiful best day ever. And for those of you who are new to the Lillian McDermott Radio Show, the purpose of the show is to provide a safe place where you can go to when you need a friend. It is my commitment to provide alternative ways to heal, and it is my mission to make awareness, responsibility, and truth a part of our everyday life. And I hope you, my listening friend, will feel empowered to learn a new truth and live the life of your dreams. Now, today is kind of a dream for me because, as you know, Dr. Joel Fuhrman has been coming on the Lillian McDermott Radio Show now for 2 years. He's been a loyal friend of the show. He's been teaching us, I have completely changed the way I eat because of the nutritarian lifestyle. And so today I am yelling and I'm making a call to action. And I'm going to say field trip for anyone who would like to meet Dr. Joel Fuhrman today. And I know there's going to be over 750 people here. And it's at North Lake Presbyterian Church in Lady Lakes. So you still have time. If you live in Orlando, if you live in Cape Canaveral or Melbourne or in Jacksonville, wherever you're listening, if you have a free day today, love yourself by coming to see Dr. Joel Fuhrman, who'll be speaking from 10 to 1, I believe. And I'm just going to bring him in because Dr. Joel Fuhrman, as you know, has been on my show for 2 years. And he is a healer. He's a doctor. He's a best-selling author. He is the #1 rated PBS special ever. And I am excited that he is here today. This is our first face-to-face. You can find us later on YouTube. You can find us on Facebook Live for those of you who want to see the show, Facebook Live, and of course on the radio. And since it is our sole purpose in life to give and receive love and knowledge, I am so grateful to be right here with Dr. Joel Fuhrman. Welcome, Dr. Fuhrman, to the Lillian McDermott Radio Show.
Thanks, Lily. Great to be here and speak to your listeners, as always.
Well, I am so glad. So what are you going to talk about today? Share a little bit about your background and what you're going to share with your followers, the people that are going to get to know you for the first time.
Well, I'm going to give an introductory lecture. I'm going to explain to them why they can make a choice right now today to never have a heart attack or a stroke and not get demented. And they can wipe out most chance of getting cancer. So we'll really have a plan where people can live to be 100 years old and in great health. The title of the lecture is live healthfully to 100, to at least live healthfully past 100. Mm-hmm. And the key is live healthfully, not just live. There's no point in living if you're going to be in a nursing home and not be able to have your full mental and physical faculties, or if you're in pain or have medical problems keeping you under stress. There's no point. We want to live in great health, and the advances in nutritional science make that possible. On the other hand, I'm also discussing a little about my new book, Food Genocide, and discuss how the dangers of fast food and processed food is so underestimated, and even moderate use dramatically increases risk of dementia, depression, and cancer, of course. Like, for example, people say, people always say, well, okay, of course, we know that stuff is not good for you. It's going to cause obesity, diabetes, but moderate use once a week is not going to hurt me. But I'm showing them the data from scientific studies. Once a week of commercial French fries increases risk of breast and prostate cancer by more than 25%, just once a week. Mm-hmm. That's the most significant cancer stimulator you could probably do. It's just like smoking fast food once a week is like smoking a half a pack of cigarettes every day practically. Yeah. And the World Health Organization has classified barbecue, processed meats, and fried foods in fast food restaurants as class 1 carcinogens, the same as cigarette smoking and asbestos. And so we're talking about people gambling their future health away, and they have to know the facts. And they can't blame me for presenting the scientific evidence from the scientific studies, even though sometimes they don't necessarily want to hear all these accurate statistics about their bad habits. But on the other hand, this is all a message of hope. It's a message that's delicious. I show them how they can make food taste great. This is that when you eat for great health, it improves your taste, it improves your senses. You enjoy food more, not less, and you get away the fear of living, and you get away the obviously invasive, intrusive, and dangerous medical care that you don't need to have anymore. Medical care is a leading cause of death. It's probably the third leading cause of death in this country. Yeah. Medical care is dangerous. The first thing you learn in medical school, the first lecture I heard, was that never forget that all drugs are toxic. They don't work because they give the body nutrients. They work because they give the body poisons that interfere, block, or... And
pharmacists have a license to dispense poison. I've seen it hanging on their...
Well, the point is that drugs cause cancer. Mm-hmm. Blood pressure medications cause cancer. Antibiotics cause cancer. Statin drugs cause cancer. All these things are dangerous things that as they give you can't get a benefit for nothing. You don't get something for nothing. So we're talking here about what people can do themselves to control their health destiny. And when you take control of your health, and when you know you're protected, it sets you free. You can enjoy your life to the fullest. It gives you have a robust and exciting life. So we have great opportunity here in America. We have such great freedoms. We have access to great food. Yet at the same time, so many people are needlessly suffering, and so many vulnerable populations are having their brains destroyed, because of their access to fast foods.
Absolutely. And this is what we're going to talk about today. And we're also giving his latest book, Food Genocide. So you can text me at 407-373-5959. And we're going to continue our conversation with Dr. Joel Fuhrman when we return worldwide at whenyounneedafriend.com. We'll be right here waiting for you. I love my speedy goodbyes.
I got that thing with your finger.
Yeah. I hope you can't see it there on Facebook Live, but I'm just like, I'll give you the cues this way. And he's just like blowing my text. This is, you know what, Brian? Sometimes, like if it's a 5-minute or a 2-minute, just whisper in my ear. That'll be good. But when we get to the music has started, I couldn't hear the music at all. Something's wrong with the settings. Okay?
Well, I didn't feed the music to you.
Yeah. Okay.
Do you want the music fed to you?
Just a little bit, because if I can't get if the text comes in later, I can at least hear the music, but not too loud where it blows me away, okay? Are the levels good?
Yep.
Okay, perfect. So Dr. Fuhrman, you had mentioned the World Health Organization, and we're still recording. These are for the people that are watching us on Facebook Live or on YouTube later on. Why isn't this front page headline? Why is it that these are things that are documented, but we still don't know about it?
Yeah, well, sometimes they do mention this in some literature that people see, but of course the media is funded and get advertisers, and obviously we have tremendous billions of dollars being spent to perpetuate the status quo, and even when I'm on television, there's things you can't say, and the producer's telling you to say this, don't say that, and they're telling you that they don't want to offend the advertisers, the people who are in the food industry or pharmaceutical industry. So you have to hold back the message, and they're not anxious to take pills. As a matter of fact, the media is most often looking for reasons to disavow nutritional excellence and to give people excuses why they can eat unhealthy to support their advertisers as much as they can. And the $1 billion they spend is to confuse people.
Correct.
And to deny solid evidence from large studies, to make these really silly, small studies that are actually set up to cause confusion. For example, if you give people a pack of cigarettes a day to smoke, and then you compare them against people smoking 2 packs, you could say that cigarettes are harmless because the second pack didn't hurt you. Well, if you're taking, if your diet's already very high in saturated fat and cholesterol, and you give people an extra couple of eggs, they've already reached their limit of saturated fat and cholesterol.
Exactly.
The extra eggs aren't going to make a difference.
Correct.
So you're going to say eggs are harmless.
Yes.
So they just make these studies up, and people believe what they want to hear because they want to hear.
You can text Lillian McDermott or leave her a voicemail at 407-373-5959. Once again, here's Lillian.
Brian. And welcome back to Lillian McDermott Radio Show, where we are broadcasting live from North Lake Presbyterian Church here in Lady Lakes. So those of you who are in Orlando or Jacksonville or Melbourne, it's time. You still have time. If you're listening early in the morning, you still have time for the field trip, because Dr. Joel Fuhrman, anytime he comes to Florida, I make it a trip, and it's always so exciting to be in his presence.
You've heard me speak live so many times.
I have, but this is the first time that you're here when my show is airing live. And so we came out here. You were so gracious to come out early because you didn't have to do this. Your passion in doing what you're doing is so enviable, and it is admirable at the same time. And I want to encourage everybody, if you are listening this morning, the talk at North Lake Presbyterian starts at 10 and it will go on till 1 o'clock today, right?
I think 10 to 12 is most of the talk. Then probably is a book signing and Q&A, questions and answers, and a book signing.
Got it. Okay. So today we are talking about Dr. Joel Fuhrman. You have studied this for over 40 years. This isn't new for you. But for all of us, for most of us, this is so new. Let's talk about what you've discovered about what you call today a nutritarian diet.
Yeah, it's a good word, nutritarian. It means rich in nutrients. It means a diet designed to maximize human lifespan, to get all those nutrients humans need to slow the aging process. Because I could say this very clearly, that there's only been one thing proven to radically extend lifespan of animals and primates, and we're primates. In other words, I want to be clear. Only one thing has ever been proven to radically extend human lifespan. You could hear about diets and fads and ideas and this and high fat and low fat and high carb and low carb and paleo and keto and all these things you do, but it's all just fads and hypotheses, and nothing's proven except for moderate caloric restriction in an environment of micronutrient excellence. That's it. Mm-hmm. Moderate caloric restriction in an environment of micronutrient excellence. And what I'm saying here is that when you eat a diet is micronutrient inadequate, and of course micronutrients don't contain calories.
Correct.
They're vitamins, minerals, antioxidants, and phytochemicals. They protect our precious health. They protect our brains from aging. We need them for a normal life and to prevent cancer. But my studies and my work over the last 4 decades has shown that as people pay attention to and increase the micronutrient quality of their diet, it naturally suppresses their appetite, removes food cravings, and puts them back instinctually with the amount of calories they require to maintain the right body weight.
Yeah.
They don't have to diet because their diet is healthy enough, so they're back. The instincts are feeding them with the right type of amount of food they would desire. So what I'm saying right now is, even though the basic principle here is that moderately strict calories, people don't have to go around being hungry and restricting calories.
Mm-hmm.
They naturally restrict calories because they're eating the right foods. When you eat the right foods, it takes away your cravings and desire to overeat calories. And because the right foods and high nutrient foods are generally high in fiber, high in water content, and high in nutrients, they control the appetite. They shut down the appetite.
Yeah.
They turn it down so you don't want to eat as much food. So it's the methodology via which people can control their appetite is by eating a diet of nutritional excellence.
Yeah.
Puts it all together.
So let's talk about that nutritional excellence and what it consists
What's
of.
that phone?
It's,
Leslie?
oh,
is that your phone?
yeah,
Oh.
somebody's calling. Thank you so much for that. Okay, so let's talk about that nutritional excellence, and your combination is G-bombs. Let's talk about G-bombs, because it's time to eat our G-bombs, and I have G-bombs every day, 3 meals a day, and it's because of you, Dr. Fuhrman. So let's talk about G-bombs and what it stands for and why it's so important for us.
Right. I mean, we want people to understand what foods have the highest micronutrients in them per calorie, so they can eat more of those foods intentionally.
Mm-hmm.
And we want people to eat big salads and lots of, vegetables, obviously, is very important, beans and nuts. But I use the acronym G-bombs, G-B-O-M-B-S, to help people remember those foods that have the most scientifically documented protective effects against cancer.
Yes.
So if you said to me, what are the foods that I should eat to not get cancer? Then my answer would be G-bombs.
Mm-hmm.
It's not all you're going to eat. It's not your whole diet, but you do want to remember those foods so you can eat them more daily if possible, but regularly to reduce the risk of getting cancer, because most Americans have eaten poorly the first half of their lives, and they need to eat a diet not moderately good, but they need to eat a diet that's excellent to repair the damage to the cells that will eventually result in cancer. They don't repair that DNA damage. So the G-bombs obviously stands for greens, beans, onions, mushrooms, berries, and seeds.
Yes.
And I remember to put my flax seeds on my oatmeal. I remember to put my onion or my scallion on the salad bar. Last night I put a whole heaping tablespoons of raw scallions on there because I knew scallions have great anti-cancer effects. And I knew on top of my lettuce to put either some red cabbage or some arugula or some watercress or some kale, baby kale, because I wanted to put that cruciferous green vegetable on top, because I know that cruciferous greens have powerful anti-cancer effects.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm mixing together in the diet style all these synergistically, by the way, which means that this diet contains a portfolio of foods that extend human lifespan and protect cancer. And when you put together this portfolio of foods that protect cancer, that's when the magic happens.
Yes.
We see studies on women with a high propensity, with a genetic defect to increase the risk of breast cancer. And when those women who eat these cruciferous green vegetables, even with that gene that promotes breast cancer, still have more than 50% reduction of breast cancer.
It's amazing.
Just from eating the greens.
Yeah.
Women with cancer who eat seeds have a 71% chance of dying from breast cancer if they eat seeds every day. People who eat mushrooms every day, women who eat mushrooms on a regular basis, 10 grams a day, the size of your thumb, have a 64% reduced risk
So
of
when you
breast
say
cancer.
the size of your thumb, that means that this is how much mushrooms you need. You just chop it up, or there's one mushroom?
Well, I don't know if that's the amount you need, but I know in this study, it showed women who ate 10 grams a day had a 64% lower rate of breast cancer.
And that's about
10 grams the size of your thumb.
Okay.
Maybe if you ate more than that, it would be more than 64%. I'm just saying what the study showed.
Yes, exactly.
But what I'm saying right now is that even though each of these foods individually show protection, what about when we mix them all together? The highest, most potentially, and that's what we're doing in the studies that I run. I'm president of the Nutrition Research Foundation, and we do studies now. We're doing a Nutritarian women's health study at a flag that's centered at Northern Arizona University. We have a Nutritarian research office there, headed by Dr. Sutliff. But we're recruiting thousands of women who are pledging to follow this G-bombs Nutritarian diet for the rest of their life. And some of these women are overweight. Some have had cancer before. Many have not. But whatever they've had, we're tracking them all and seeing what happens to these people who change their diet. And so far, the people I have tracked over the last 25 years are amazing. We've had people with cancers be living 15, 20 years who are supposed to be dead within 6 months. We've had so many people with advanced heart disease who are told they need angioplasty or bypass surgery, or couldn't get out of bed after angioplasty or bypass surgery and restenosis and reclogging of all the arteries in the heart, sent home to die. Invariably, these people get well, even from the most serious conditions. So this diet style that's maximally designed to extend human lifespan, when utilized therapeutically, becomes an effective therapeutic tool to reverse disease, reverse asthma, reverse psoriasis, reverse advanced heart disease, reverse diabetes, reverse high blood pressure, high cholesterol, headaches. So in other words, people can get well. They don't have to resort to taking medications the rest of their life, being medically crippled and tortured by the medical profession.
Absolutely.
So I don't know about you, but I don't want to be in a nursing home. I don't want to be tortured. I don't want to be in hospitals having my chest cut open. I don't have tubes in the orifices of my body. I don't have kidney failure and leg amputations and taking drugs that make you sick and nauseous and being in pain. I mean, it's so distasteful to see what happens to people in their later years. They live their whole life and they go to their later years and their life becomes torture, like it being worse than prison.
And we take that as this is normal living expectancies. This is if as you get older, you're going to get diabetes. And what tortured. And this is what I love. And this is the hope part, that if your family had diabetes or heart disease or cancer, that it really doesn't matter if you eat a good diet, because you can turn on or turn off those genes by the way you eat, by the way you sleep. I mean, there's more than just nutrition. There's other aspects of the spirit.
There are populations around the world. If we look at the last 50 years, we find populations eating natural foods that have 1/100th the amount of cancers that we have, 1/100th the amount of breast cancer. And populations that have no heart disease, and our ancestries had no heart disease. The fact that we consider it normal is just shows you how absolutely insane our population is.
We have been numbed by the pharmaceutical industry, and we watch these commercials, we see these commercials all the time, and they'll say you can take this drug, but then they'll say and you'll see these beautiful images behind you in these videos, and then of course you hear all the side effects that you talked about earlier.
The evolution of medical care in this country has evolved to sell product to the population. So we keep the population chronically ill with certain foods, and then we have a lot of drugs they can take to make a lot of money. So it's a medical, pharmaceutical, fast food industry. And and if you put together the food industry and the drug industry and the medical industry, then you have the most powerful lobby in Washington and in a government to control everything.
Absolutely.
And we have, to mandate and to pay to make fast foods cheaper, to make healthy foods more expensive, to keep so we have a drug-based drug healthcare-based economy that has to fail, can never be solved. We can't have it has to destroy us economically because we have the sickest population ever,
What do you say about the standard American diet? Who designed the standard American diet, Dr. Fuhrman?
I say ISIS or Al-Qaeda. They couldn't be better designed had it been designed to kill us. But it's designed to keeping us perpetually sick, so we can keep addicted to the unhealthy foods and maintain and then keep on drugs for the last 30 years of our life. We're stuck taking multiple drugs.
That's right, and those drugs have incredible side effects. And the side effects of G-bombs are?
The side effects of G-bombs are to not get cancer. The side effects of drugs is drugs cause cancer. Right. So and I tell people that if you want to know if you're at risk of getting a heart attack or stroke or cancer, count the number of medications you're on, because your risk of dying and suffering are dependent on how much medications you're taking.
That's true. And that's something that we can talk.
We want to get people off medications and get them well again, so they don't need medical care.
So for those of you who are listening right now and you would like a copy of Dr. Joel Fuhrman's, you're listening to Dr. Joel Fuhrman. Dr. Joel Fuhrman has been studying nutrition for over 40 years, and he has figured out the combination. He's also studied the fad diets that we've done a show. I think we did a show a long time ago. For those of you who would like to learn more about Dr. Fuhrman, you can go to whenyouneedafriend.com and you can enter his name, and it's Fuhram. Wait,
it's not AMA.
No.
M-A-N.
M-A-N. I was like, all of a sudden I got lost in the spelling there. But for those of you, go to drfuhrman.com as well, and you can learn about, we're going to talk a little bit more specifically about the G-bombs when we return, because we're going to talk about whether or not raw or cooked, which ones are raw or cooked of the G-bombs. And of course, you can tune in. You can come into North Lake Presbyterian today. Dr. Joel Fuhrman will be speaking at 10 o'clock from 10 to 2. And then after that, there's going to be a question
About
and answer.
10 to 12.
10 to 12.
Yeah.
I want you to stay longer, Dr. Fuhrman. I think that's what
I'll
it
be
is.
here for Q&A and then book
that's
signing after
right.
that.
Okay. And for those of you who would like a copy, we're giving away a free copy of Dr. Joel Fuhrman's latest book called Food Genocide. I have a copy on my tablet that oh my gosh, the recipes are delicious.
Have you finished reading it?
Yeah, it's
okay.
wonderful. It's
Okay.
wonderful. And so today, if you would like a copy of the book, it's 407-373-5959.
Or go to Amazon and buy one.
Oh, you can go to Amazon and buy one. Better yet. And that's 407-373-5959.
10 seconds.
And Brian, I can't hear you. I'm not getting your text.
5, 4,
Are we on still?
3.
Oh, here we go. And we'll
2.
be right back. We'll be right here waiting for you. Worldwide at whenyouneedafriend.com.
Mic's off.
Brian, I can't hear you at all. Something is going on, and I didn't get any texts.
I can't give my computer now. I have to.
Well, you asked me not to text you the
this will be over at
countdown.
9. Before
I'm sorry.
9,
You've
and then
been
then
texting me.
Between 9 and 9:15, I'll set it
Hello?
up for them, and then at 9:15, I'll give up. About
Okay.
9:15, I'll set up.
Brian,
Yeah,
okay, because I can't hear you.
I'm right here.
What's that?
Okay, why can't I hear you? Hold on a second.
What?
Hold on.
Oh, it's an hour question and answer. Oh, so I'm doing 9 to.
So 10 and 2 is devoted to you.
Okay, let's go through this again. I'm going to speak from 9 to.
From 10.
Oh, from 10 to 12 with a lecture. 10 to like 12.
10 to 1. And then 1 to 2.
So we're getting the countdown here of Dr. Joel Fuhrman's.
Do the book signing too. So I'm going to speak for
quite a bit of
So I'm
time.
going to speak for a full 2 hours from 10 to 12.
Just feel it out. We just gave you enough room where
Okay.
you could wear.
I don't want to keep people there, they'll be starving. I'll 10 to 12, and then I'll do Q&A at 12 o'clock.
I think there's a little break where they'll get a little bit of lunch and come back in.
Oh, okay.
So what was the schedule again?
His schedule is actually from 10 till 1.
10 till
then 1 till 2 is a question and answer.
So you.
That doesn't sound possible.
But you know what?
Because
You'll
it doesn't, people, there's going to be a break in there, but I think that, and people can't sit for a 3-hour lecture. They can't sit and listen to a 3-hour lecture. It's
Yeah,
impossible.
but attribute that to me because I thought you might need the time.
I'll probably speak from 10 to 12.
Okay.
Give
Give us
people
a
a
break.
bathroom break. Then come back and do Q&A.
Did you hear that?
Maybe
10 to 12.
12:20 to 1 to 1.
Yeah, that
And
makes
then probably
sense.
do a book signing till 2. Or,
When your bottom hurts, your brain doesn't work.
they're gonna people,
Hey, that should be a meme.
Actually, pretty soft seats though.
I know, these are great seats, aren't they?
we'll see how the audience.
That's what they have out there.
Because you got to give people bathroom breaks. You got to give them the food
That's
breaks.
fine. But I just want you to know you have blocked time.
Okay, good.
Dr. Fuhrman, you're
That's
the
great.
man.
It means I could take my time. I can make sure people understand it thoroughly. Don't have to race through it. I could take a lot of questions. Really give people the attention they deserve.
Now, Bruce, as you're listening to Dr. Fuhrman right now, I mean, all of this is coming to you for the first time ever.
Right.
Do you have any thoughts that are running through your mind as far as nutrition goes?
I definitely want to look more into this as it's making a lot of sense to me.
And you're going to listen to my presentation today.
I see no agenda here. It's only how can you improve your health and
Yeah.
live a long, healthy life.
Yeah.
There's no agenda here.
No,
It's like
no,
take
Dr.
it or leave it. And worst case is, don't take the advice and live a horrible extended life possibly or a short life.
Hey, Brian.
Right, exactly.
Since I
And
can't hear
certainly people can do whatever
What?
they choose to do.
I can't hear you,
I'm
so
all
you're
for
gonna
people
have to
having
text
free
me,
will to
okay?
smoke cigarettes,
How you
snort
doing?
cocaine,
I
drink
can't hear you at
soda,
all.
whatever they want.
So,
But they should know the facts about cigarettes. They should know the facts about soda to destroying brain cells and causing depression. They shouldn't do things without knowledge of what the effects will be. But once they know the effects, let them do whatever they want. I'm just here to tell give people informed consent. Let them know the facts.
yeah, I remember you said, if people think crack cocaine is good for them, then they know, if they know that it's bad for them, or they think it's good for them and they're using cocaine,
Right.
I come in and tell them it's not good. If they continue taking cocaine thinking that it's good, that's their own issue.
Well,
So-
once they're properly informed, they can do whatever they want.
Correct.
I'm not here to mandate people take good care of their
What's really
health.
sad is the government, like you said, is behind it with the lobbyists and where the money is. And
Right.
we're the beneficiary of their poor decisions.
Right.
Yeah.
The only way to solve a healthcare crisis in America is to get the population healthier. It's the only way. Because with the population getting sicker and sicker and more overweight and more obese, and obesity is still climbing, you're going to have more medical care expenses, more diabetes is increasing. It costs $1,000 a month extra for every test, $10,000 a month, $10,000 a year to take medical care for each diabetes. More diabetics spending another $10,000 a year. We're talking about $1 billion being a growing $1 billion industry of sickness and diabetes and obesity in this country. And you can't solve that. It's just going to get worse and worse.
Here we go. Here we go. We are doing a show after all. I forgot we're doing a show. This is what happens when Dr. Joel Fuhrman is in the house. I am so excited about this.
You can text
And
Lillian
Brian, is the sound quality good?
at 407-373-5959.
I can't hear
Once
you.
again, here's Lillian.
And welcome back to the Lillian McDermott Radio Show, where we always learn from one another. You can hear us live at worldwide at whenyouneedafriend.com. And Dr. Joel Fuhrman is here. He's our teacher today, and he's been our teacher for the last 2 years. Actually, he's been a teacher for many, many more years than that, over 40 years, and quite an accomplished in everything he does, even an Olympian. He's done everything he does well, and it must be really difficult to be in your shadow sometimes because you do everything in excellence.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Well, I have a lot of fun. I enjoy living life, and I'm passionate about nutrition. I'm passionate about spreading this message. I'm passionate about sports, having fun, music, my children. I just like living life, and I want to keep in good health so I can keep having an enjoyable life, and I want to share that with other people.
Isn't that the greatest gift we can give?
Yeah.
Not only ourselves, but our children too. It's difficult to take care of a parent that's demented. I'm going through this right now. They're not 100% there, but I can see the writing on the wall. I see where it's going. And at this point, I'm being told, don't worry. And I've heard people say, when I'm 80, I'm going to eat whatever I want. But the reality is, why would we choose poison? So you have when you
don't take care of your health, you're giving your children a horrible life. Because now they can't live their life. They have to spend their life taking care of you.
That's their inheritance.
They've been taking care of you, and you can't take care of yourself.
Correct.
It's unbelievably selfish to not take care of your health.
Correct.
And when you don't take care of your health and you're healthy when you're young, you destroy the eggs in your body and the sperm, so that when your children now are destined to have bad health the rest of their life because you ate unhealthy. So when you eat unhealthy, so your children have attention disorders, they have learning disabilities, they have autism, they have propensity for cancers, they have brain cancer or childhood cancers as a youngster, because of the way you ate unhealthily. So one hand, you eat unhealthy, you damage your children, and when you get older and eat unhealthy, you damage yourself. So your children that you just damaged have to take care of you in their later years and can't enjoy their life.
Yeah.
This is such an incredibly horrible thing when people don't take care of their health. It's destructive to the happiness of their family and their own life.
And the problem is that we have been domesticated to believe that the way we age is normal if we eat the standard American diet. So let's go back to G-bombs. I had made a commitment that we were going to go back to talk about G-bombs. Greens, cooked or raw, or both?
Both, but you get more anti-cancer benefits from the green cruciferous family when you chew them in your mouth and they're raw, because there's an enzyme in the cell wall of cruciferous vegetables called myrosinase, and that enzyme is heat sensitive. So as you're chewing the broccoli or chewing the kale in your mouth, you're breaking open the cell wall and causing a chemical reaction to occur in your mouth. And it's also mixing with bacteria in your teeth, between your teeth and your gums, that also produce more beneficial compounds. So your body is making anti-cancer compounds in the mouth as you're chewing. Now, if you want to cook kale or cook watercress or arugula, that's why it's good to eat watercress or arugula. They're soft salads. You can chew them very well, and to use kale and cabbage on your salads. But when we make soups and we put mustard greens and bok choy and cabbage and kale in the soup, we blend the vegetables raw in the blender. So we create those ITCs, the anti-cancer compounds, and then we pour it because the heat won't destroy them once they're formed. It prevents their formation by deactivating the enzymes.
You've got it down to a science.
So we instruct people how to properly make the cooked vegetables so they don't destroy the anti-cancer benefits. If you want to eat cooked broccoli and snow pea pods and water chestnuts and baby corn, you want to make shredded cabbage and onions in a wok dish. Mm-hmm. You wok it with a quarter cup of water for 4 minutes. so it's not totally mush. And then you put the sauce on top, and be Thai curry sauce or Mexican ole, or one of these delicious Hawaiian sauces. And I have these great recipes.
I know.
Great sauces.
Every single book. I mean, if there's so many books that Dr. Fuhrman, how many books are 12 at this point? 12 books. Every single one of them has the most wonderful and recipes. And I made your black bean brownie and the frosting, the avocado frosting.
Right, yeah.
It is to live for. It really is.
So it's to die for.
No, I don't want to die. I want to live for it. Okay, so Dr. Fuhrman, so let's move on to beans. Beans must be cooked.
Yeah, so if I could just say that there are two foods we want to eat raw to get the maximum anti-cancer effects. Those two foods are green vegetables and onions and scallions, raw.
Yes.
Tremendous anti-cancer. And the two foods we want to eat cooked are mushrooms and beans. And we want to very well-cooked beans. They should be cooked a long time. They get better and better the longer you cook them.
Really?
Yeah, so some are greater cooked. And mushrooms just cook lightly, but mushrooms can be in a soup for hours. That won't hurt them. But the point is that cooked green vegetables are also healthy, but we don't get the maximum anti-cancer effects. We just want to have enough raw too.
So we can do a combination.
You can do a combination too. And when you're walking things or steaming them, don't put a timer on. Don't cook them forever, because you still maintain some of the benefits if you keep a little bit of firmness and don't make the water green, so you lose so many nutrients in it.
So when the water is green, you're losing the nutrients? Because
Yeah.
I just washed fresh kale, and I hated throwing out the
green water.
The green water.
Yeah, you steamed it too long then.
No, I just cleaned it.
Oh, the green and some green.
Yeah.
Oh, that's fine.
Oh, okay. Then I don't feel so bad. I was like, I want to bathe in this or something, because I knew that the water turned green. I was just cleaning
I eat dirty vegetables sometimes.
You eat dirty vegetables?
Yeah, I go into my garden.
But you have your own garden.
I have my own garden. I know it's
I don't
organic.
know what garden
And
this is.
there could be some microscopic insects or dirt, but I like to go out and eat food right out of the garden. Lettuce and kale and cabbage and broccoli leaves and snow pea pods. And I eat the whole pea plants. I don't just eat the snow. I don't just eat the peas in the pod. I eat the pea plants as well. The whole plant is edible. So I'm just like a deer scavenging in my
You
garden.
heard it here. Dr. Fuhrman is like a deer.
And I grow fresh figs, and I'm tomatoes and figs and berries, and I'm eating outside. It's fun eating outdoors, and if foods just either grow naturally in the woods, and I'm always going in the woods looking for food too. Do you know that there's something called parslane, parslane is a vegetable high in omega-3 fatty acids, very high in anti-cancer abilities, grows everywhere wild. It's all over the place. It's even growing wild in my garden as a weed, and I'm pulling them up by the weed and throwing them away, thinking it's a weed, but I found out this is a great vegetable, and I pick them. And
Where did you find it? I mean, did you find it in the woods or what?
They grow everywhere. What's it
look like?
It has like a red stem with like an oval, shiny green leaf.
And it's called what?
Parslane.
Parslane.
It grows everywhere. So if you know enough, you can actually go out in the woods and eat. And I used to bring sheets into the woods and shake down mulberry trees, 400 sheets. I'd find food, but it's fun finding food in nature.
I interviewed a guy. His name is Marcus something. I can't remember his last name right now. And Ashley, if you're listening, text it to me. But anyway, he said that we do not have to be hungry. You can go into every weed is edible, and he talks about the nutrients and how you can
a lot of stuff is edible around. But I used to make the point.
But we've got poisons on it too.
When you're growing a broccoli plant or a tomato plant, don't waste the space in your garden between the plants. You can use parslane as a ground cover.
I'm going to look up parslane.
Start eating the food, the weeds that grow under the plants. You can be eating them in your salad as well as eating the plant food, so you don't have any empty space in your garden, wasting empty space.
I'm going to go up to your garden.
You can get parslane seeds and you can sprinkle them around because they grow very low to the ground.
Yeah.
They don't grow up tall.
So when I went to
got off the track of your question, though.
No, I forgot what the question was. We're going to talk about parslane from now on. This is what we're talking about. And for those of you who are listening, we are talking to Dr. Joel Fuhrman, and he is giving away his book called, one book. It's called Food Genocide. For the third caller, 407-373-5959. You can get your copy and start living your life healthily.
Yeah, this is a new book for me because I've written 12 books. I have 6 New York Times bestselling books. And I'm very,
They're your babies.
Very grateful to have the opportunity to have reached millions of people with this information. But this book is unique. I really feel it's going to permeate. It can permeate society and change all America.
It's going to change.
Because it's such an interesting read. I think people are going to find it so fascinating. So much information they've never heard of before, and so much information that's not covered in my other books. About how not just about how food affects the brain, but also about how historically and how it permeates society with crime, with violence, with drug use,
Absolutely.
with brain damage, with learning disabilities, and how it's really just how fast food has destroyed American culture.
You have some stats at the beginning of your book that are just, I put them on there. I'm trying to think where it is in my notes. But eating fast foods 2 to 3 times per week increases risk of dying of coronary artery disease more than 50%.
Well, that's already compared to the people who are already at high risk who don't eat it that much, but we eat the other American diet. But what I'm saying right now, obviously, is that nobody has to have a heart attack or a stroke. You can be wiped out. And you 100 times, if you eat American like other Americans eat, you're going to be at high risk. And if you want to not be at risk, that's the whole point. Show people how they can remove that risk, diffuse the bomb, never have a heart attack or a stroke.
Diffuse the bomb with G-bombs.
Good one.
Is that going to be in the next one? I love in the Fast Food Genocide, there is a little cartoon of 2 sharks talking side by side. And these are all created by Dr. Joel Fuhrman. So these 2 sharks are in the ocean. They're talking and they're going, so why are we not supposed to eat humans anymore? And the other
That's
sharks.
The baby shark says.
The baby sharks. Why is it that we're not? You can say it. Say your own joke.
Well, they're too contaminated with mercury and other toxins right now.
That's right.
Something like that.
Yeah, it says because they contain too much mercury and other petrochemicals. Yeah, that's why sharks can't eat us anymore, which is the good news. That's the only good news that's come out of this. And so here we are.
And I worked a lot designing cartoons for those chapters, thinking of cartoons, and I had an illustrator design them because I wanted to make, this book is a serious book, a lot of serious subjects, and it's a deep read.
And I think that the reason why this book is going to hit home is that many of us are growing up on fast foods.
It's now become the #1 source of calories in America.
And
it's what Americans are eating. Most of American calories come from processed food and fast food today.
Absolutely.
And it's destroying. People don't understand how it causes mental illness.
Yeah, and for those of you who would like a copy of the book, 407-373-5959, be the third caller or texter to call 407-373-5959 and get your free copy. And you can come listen to Dr. Fuhrman at North Lake Presbyterian and Lady Lakes. We'll be right here waiting for you worldwide at whenyouneedafriend.com. Yeah, this book is for sure, because many people think food is McDonald's, Burger King. Well, I shouldn't say all these names because I don't want to get, I don't know if I can even say this.
No, I say
I'm not Oprah, so they're not going to come after me.
Burger Hut.
When you or a family member is in trouble with the law, it affects
Pizza
the
King,
entire
Burger Hut,
family.
and the
At times like these, we need an advocate that will listen and guide us. Let me introduce you to Jacksonville criminal defense attorney Kate Messick. Big or small, your case is her priority, and she will treat you like family. To learn more, call 904-619-2510. That's 904-619-2510 or...
Oh, good morning, Karen. Good morning, Ursula. I hope you guys are listening. Okay, so Dr. Fuhrman, we're down to our last segment now before you have to go.
Really? Oh, wow, it's time to I didn't think we got started yet. I didn't think we was going to talk about dieting, talk about this, and talk about we didn't get to talk about anything yet. We're just shooting the breeze.
So for those of you who are listening today and would like to come to North Lake Presbyterian, do you have the address here?
Yes.
Come here, Reggie. Come here. Okay, you can get a little closer.
It's 175 or 975?
It's something rolling.
Rolling acre, 975.
You know what? I do have it here. I don't know why I'm asking. It is. Oh, no, that's your Nutritarian study.
975 Rolling Acres Road.
975 Rolling Acres Road.
975
Lady Lake,
975 Rolling Acre Road. And you know what? There's going to be over 750 people here. And what is this?
Real people. Not just on Facebook.
Mine? Or his? For the presentation? That's for Dr. Fuhrman.
That's all that here.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Thank you, Amy. Look at, you're so wanted, Dr. Fuhrman.
I couldn't wait. I think it was that message.
There we go. And so, okay, so this is our last segment. I'm going to talk about being here at North Lake. I think that you're supposed to email, and I don't know if they're checking people's backgrounds or what, or they're preparing for the food, but I
brought... A body search or a metal search?
I don't know.
It's free, right? Free admission? Yes?
I think they're asking for a donation to help with all the expenses of
Right.
the media and all that. I mean, like when you come into a room, you bring in a bunch of people. I mean, there's a lot of things that happen before you walk in. There's a lot of people, volunteers that have been really moving and shaking, and to get 750 people in one room together to hear that the earth is a
Flat,
sphere.
Round. Oh, round. Okay. I once spoke, I think it was in, where was I? I think in Cleveland, or where I had like a big,
Oh, you know what? I need to listen to see when we're coming back on the air. Brian, keep me honest. I'm sorry. I get this.
There were like 3,000 people in the audience. I once spoke in New York at the Javits Center. We had like 8,000 people in the audience.
Wow.
Like amazing, but you gotta like look back. It's like a field, a football field of people.
Wow.
You know?
That's amazing. Oh, here we go. This is our last segment. And we haven't even danced, Dr. Fuhrman. You're supposed to dance on the Lillian McDermott Radio Show. That's why you can't hear the music. Okay,
You
here
can
we
text
go.
Lillian McDermott or leave her a
I do want to
voicemail
mention
at
my social media, and then I'll come back and reintroduce you.
407-374-5959.
Oh.
Once again, here's Lillian.
And welcome back to the Lillian McDermott Radio Show, where we always learn from one another, and I hope you can hear me right now. I'm getting calls and people wanting to learn more about Dr. Joel Fuhrman. Dr. Joel Fuhrman is on, today from 10 to 1. And there's going to be a little break somewhere for people that need a bio break. Like he's very sensitive about that, because when your bottom hurts, your brain doesn't function. So you can go to the Feel Good, Look Good Expo today in Lady Lakes. It is at 975 Rolling Acres Road in Lady Lakes, and it is North Lake Presbyterian. This is a community, and I've said this before at the beginning of the show, maybe I said it off the air, I don't know, but the villages in this area, this is where people retire to live. And I was talking to Dr. Fuhrman about this before the show started, that everybody wants to come to the villages because they love to do it right. And I am so excited that you're going to present this information. Will they choose to listen that the earth is a sphere? Because many people still believe that the earth is flat earth society. And so you're bringing a new truth to the villages, and you're going to change, just like your books. You're going to change the way people eat, think, act, feel.
Right.
How does that feel, Dr. Fuhrman?
Well, you know, it's great to live life and not have fear of dementia, heart attacks, and strokes, and to get rid of you, and to not get rid of your risk of cancer. Mm-hmm. Live a life that modern nutritional science makes possible, because we could never live this long in human history as we could today with everything we know. On the other hand, a lot of people could be listening to this sort of lectures and say to themselves, I would just prefer to enjoy my life more, even if it's shorter, and eat whatever I feel like eating, eat all the junk food, the restaurant foods, the high flavored, salty, fried, dangerous foods. And if I just die younger, I'll die younger, but I'll live my life with more enjoyment. That's a delusional, irrational way of thinking. That's how addicts talked. That's the way people who are addicted lose the ability to think logically.
Great point, Dr.
And they don't, so they come up with excuses because their primitive brain is protecting their addictions. Where the reality is that people who are addicted to food or drugs don't enjoy their life more. They're suffering. They have a lot of tremendous tragedy in their life. They don't even enjoy eating food more. They have indigestion. Mm-hmm. They have they have brain fog, and they feel reflux at night, and they have constipation, and they've got all kinds of problems from the food they're eating. They don't even enjoy the taste of it more, because the foods that are highly flavored and seasoned are dead in your taste buds. Mm-hmm. But they're so addicted they can't think of changing. Changing is so anxiety provoking, and their addiction is so severe and deeply centered in the body, they can't think of how it's possible for them to change.
So let's talk about that change. So
addictions take over the mind and destroy your life, take away your ability to love and care for your family, take away your ability to enjoy life. All the while, you think that continuing to smoke, continuing to snort, and continuing to put poisonous substances in your body is better for your happiness.
But you
can't even think straight anymore.
So here's the thing, Dr. Fuhrman. We don't need to smoke. We don't need to drink. We don't need to snort.
Right.
We do need to eat. We've got to figure out this balance.
You need to drink.
Well, okay. Okay, we do need to, but nobody's addicted to water. Right. So, but I get your point. So with that in mind, we do need to eat. Food addictions are probably the most
Killed most people.
Yeah, they
It's the most
killed the
dangerous.
most people
Kills the
there.
most people. It's much worse. It can't compare to cocaine addiction,
No.
to opiate addiction, to smoke, cigarettes. More people are killed by food. We're destroying the fabric of human society and the environment. We're destroying the world as we know it because we have so many sick people, and we're destroying our genes for future generations. It's an avalanche. We're seeing the tip of the iceberg because we're seeing more autism, more learning disabilities, more allergies, and more childhood cancers, and more autoimmune diseases. Future generations has been expanding for the last 50 years. And as fast foods take hold, we're going to see more damage to the species in future generations. That's where the name Fast Food Genocide comes in.
I love that book. That's going to be
if you
your
don't understand what's
best
happening
one
here,
yet.
we're
Yeah.
destroying populations, vulnerable populations in the inner city, eating mostly fast foods, have 7 times the risk of strokes before age 45. And we're seeing people living their lives and completely their bodies have been annihilated by what they're eating.
But let's end in a positive note, because let's say you've touched a nerve today with somebody that's listening. I want to change. How can I change, Dr. Fuhrman?
Well, that's the thing. It is difficult to change for the first week or so.
Yes.
But then
Thank you for saying that.
But then it gets easy.
Yeah.
It's easier than getting off cigarettes.
Because you start
smoking.
feeling good.
You start feeling good, and your taste starts
and you
getting
don't
better.
even know that you felt bad.
And you learn the recipes, and you feel so much better, and you're watching the weight come off you, and your blood pressure's dropping. You get more energy, and you feel like living life, and you get And the biggest thing is your emotional outlook on life. Mm-hmm. Your depression lifts, your mental fog lifts, you get more excited about living life, you enjoy life more, you enjoy eating more. This is all about gleaning more enjoyment out of life, and nutritional excellence is one of those necessities to get a full and productive and happy life.
Absolutely. So you're going to have many people listening today. You're going to impact a lot of what we're on Facebook Live. We're recording our interview also, and now we are on the radio. We're going to be on the radio, different places. And
Reggie has a radio show too. I've been on his radio show too.
Oh, really? I did not know that.
He's a radio
Oh
personality.
no! Now I'm just a little nervous. Here we go.
He's a radio personality. He was worked for the Crisis magazine and NAACP, and he also encouraged me about 5 years ago to write this book, Fast Food Genocide.
Really?
He said, Joel, you've got to write a book that impacts people of lower economic means that don't hear your message.
This is Reggie.
That's Reggie, who encouraged me years ago to come in, and he would take me to some black churches in the Middle Atlantic states, and we'd
Come here, Reggie. Come here. Come stand over here.
But the point is that this book has taken me 4 or 5 years to do the research, and I wanted to really make it very comprehensive. Yeah. To include all the data it needs to do. Then other people can take the book and they can do other things with it. They can write pamphlets and put and other people could lecture about it and teach it in a course or use it in colleges, which they are doing.
Yeah.
So
Reggie, have you read the book?
No, I haven't read it yet.
He hasn't read any of my books, but he's just.
Oh, I've read the other books.
I'm just kidding you.
My wife just texted me to pick up 3, and she works at the University of Maryland, and she wants me to bring those back. She's going to have me ship those out. But how I met Joel is I was at home folding clothes and watching PBS. And when I heard him talking about how just by changing your lifestyle, you can reverse diabetes and high blood pressure, I said, that's the message that needs to go out.
Right.
So he and I met a couple of weeks later. I went up to see him. And I said, now I'm going to help you get this message out.
Now, have you been able to transition to a nutritarian lifestyle?
No, not yet, but I've lost quite a bit of weight since I first met him.
Very good. Yeah. Very happy to hear that. Very happy. Congratulations, Reggie.
You got to get to Reggie before he dies.
Yeah. Wow. Okay, let's talk about that. For the people that are saying, oh, I don't have, I've lived like this my whole life. There's no turning back. I can't reverse my disease. I've been told that I have to take this diabetes medication, this heart disease for the rest of my life.
People think they're going to be on diabetic medication and high blood pressure drugs the rest of their life. Imagine, that's the message from the doctors.
But you know what? If you rub somebody's nose in the poop long enough, they'll learn to not poop there. So what I'm saying is we have been...
I don't know how that relates to blood pressure medication, diabetic medication, but I love that statement. I just don't know what it means. But it
just means that we've been domesticated to believe a certain way. And so maybe I used the wrong analogy there, but the bottom line is we've been domesticated to believe that healing is in a pill. And my registered service mark is you can take a pill or you can take responsibility. And it's not that I'm against pills, because I take thyroid medication that I was given 15, 20 years ago. But here's the thing.
Thyroid medication is people know the thyroid can't come back.
Yeah.
And you have to take the replacement hormone.
Exactly.
So
and I wish I would have done something nutritionally if I would have known back then what I know today.
Right. Your childhood, something you did in your child, exposure to PCBs, dioxins, and other petrochemicals can destroy the thyroid gland. But nevertheless, pills are not the answer to our ails America.
What is the answer, Dr. Fuhrman?
We have excellent nutrition.
Nutritional excellence that can be achieved, and it's very simple.
Modern nutritional science, it has to be reading, writing, arithmetic, and nutritional science taught in grade schools.
Amen.
Everybody deserves to know this information. It's the information that has the most critical effect on their lifespan, on their happiness, on their health, and their ability to take care for their family and their loved ones. And when they're brainwashed with incorrect information.
We've been lied to.
Yes, and it takes away their opportunity to achieve the American dream, especially poor populations they're suffering economically, and they don't understand that they can't get out of this unless they get rid of their food addiction and learn how to protect their brain. They can't realize the American dream.
Very good, and I'll let that be the final word. Thank you so much, Dr. Fuhrman, for being a friend of the Lillian McDermott Radio Show. You mean so much to me, and you've changed so many lives just by being on my show. And to you, my listening friends, once you learn the truth, you cannot unlearn it. So now you know a new truth. Will you listen? Okay, so now it's your turn. Thank you, Dr. Fuhrman. I know you need to get going. And so this is Lillian McDermott wishing you love, peace, joy, and unexpected abundance. Are you going to say ever with me today? Make it the best day ever. Good job. Okay. Thank you, Dr. Fuhrman. Okay.
FM 100.3 W.